Right. Hi, everybody. I'm Shakira here with my Big Leap. So it's Monday night at 8 p.m. on Fox. I usually watch The Big Leap. So I just wanted to tell you all about what happened. I really, really like this show because it is grounds the characters and it's about dancing and it's about giving people a second chance at love, and the characters are really well developed, and I really just love this show right now. Like every Monday I'm looking forward to seeing it. So first it starts off with Gabby and Reggie because they kissed in the last episode and it was just so amazing. It was just so beautiful. I wonder if they were gonna actually show them like making love, and they did, and the scene was so beautiful. Gabby was giving it in. Right. So like Gabby, that's not well, actually, yeah, them. No, it starts off with Reggie when he is being a kid. Start off with Reggie as a kid in 1996. It shows about how loving and supportive his mom is, and that he always had this dream to be a football player. He's even watching football. It goes into when he gets older, he gets signed, and eventually he buys his parents a house. So it really gives us more insight into the character about who he is and what he's about and why he does this. Like this is a lifelong dream. Then after that, they show him and Gabby, and they're doing that stuff. They're doing it. I'm just so excited for Gabby to be getting in because usually you don't see like people like bigger people and love scenes like that. So it's really great to see her like riding on him. It's really good to see them like being like intimate together like that. So that was really cool. Yeah, Gabby is coming for Brittany hardcore. She teams up with Nick, the producer, to get her revenge. She plays it off like she's all cool with Brittany, but in actuality, so happen. She barges into Nick's office, says she wants revenge. The funny part is that he looks in her eyes, he sees social justice. She's trying to be all tough and murderous, but he said social justice, the little puppies when she walks and listens. So she comes up with this plan to battle Brittany for her part in Swan Lake as the White Swan. And he has to, make up some kind of prize. And so I'm like, are they giving Gabby a producer credit? Because that's what she's doing right now. She getting a producer credit. So that's the backdrop for them. And then also Justin's brother keeps calling, keeps calling, keeps calling. I'm trying to find out why does Justin's brother keep calling him. So we find out a little bit of that later in the end. So and then Paula goes to the doctor and it looks like her cancer is bad. But she's been very rude to Mike so far. And they have been in love. She said it's just been 3 weeks and she really hasn't given him the chance or the notice to know what's going on. So they have a really sweet scene at the end where he's in the hospital bed with her and she's telling him that it's too much, that is too much for him to take in, but I really felt like it should be his decision about whether or not, he wants to participate in that. And Julia mentions that she has a lot of experience with being there for someone. Because if we looked at the previous episode, she lived during the AIDS pandemic and she was very compassionate towards her friends that were AIDS and the dancing community when she was in New York. So it also alludes to that. And she and her daughter have a very, very touching scene where she picks out a dress for her daughter for her homecoming. She says Paula picks it up, but I really think that she picked it up. But she didn't want to say that she did it because her daughter probably wouldn't have taken it. So much so she said that Paula did it. So before that, Paula, like Julia asked if Paula is okay, and um, Paula's okay. So then they decide to go get a drink together. Here's my notes come in. It says, Julia, no. Paula asked Julia to dance on the bar to the song, which is definitely a throwback to Piper Paraboo's part in Coyote Ugly. because she had seen where she's dancing on there. So a lot of people on Twitter like really picked it up. That's what I wrote down. So it was like a little Coyote reference. And then the song Say a Little Prayer was a really appropriate music for that because she's going through something and everybody needs to say a little prayer for her. And so I already said that. So we find out Monica, she's usually prim, very uptight, very stoic, speaks her mind, not necessarily positive, but she's going through a little something. And Jessica, I actually know Jessica. I've met the person that plays Jessica in real life. So every time I see her, I'm excited. My girl Mackenzie Chen is on the TV. She's part of the Growing Concerns Poetry Collective here in Chicago. And I was like, I know her. So that's another reason why I watched the show, to support them. But tells her that she needs to go see the shaman, which is a guy that drives the van on set. So he ends up giving her some magic mushrooms, and she is just becomes like the nicest, sweetest person, which I think is the way she actually really is. And this whole like mean girls dynamic is just like up front. I think that's the way she actually is. And during this time, she tells Justin that he's her favorite because he and Brittany's brother Simon, they're deciding that they're going to be a couple. And so they have a safe phrase says their Starbucks are crafty. So that's when they want to slip away and they want to get away and do that thug thistle. So she is already in a closet or something, I guess in a closet, in some kind of intimate space, and she's still tripping on her mushroom. So she sees them and then she tells Justin that he's her favorite, and Justin's heart fills up with all this love and swellness and pride. So yeah. And then something happens later on in the episode that changes all that. So the back to the competition. Back to the competition. Gabby set it up so she could win. But the meter maid, Miriam, she comes in with pyrotechnics, shrimp, because she really loves shrimp, pyrotechnics, and all these great choreographies. So Justin, Brittany, and Simon, the principals, they're in charge of dancing, of charge of judging the dance challenge. So Justin and Gabby, they was tight, but he voted with his actual heart, and he decided that he was going to actually vote for Miriam against Gabby's sister. Nick told her that she needed to talk with him to make sure that he was in the bag for her. But I was just like, Miriam, where did Miriam get all the time to practice all of this? And then that's another thing with the show. How are they just leaving the set to live their lives? Like, have you ever been on set of one of those shows? Like, how are they just leaving the set? Like, I understand Paula has to leave because she had a hospital thing to go, but people are just leaving on and off the set. Like, where do they do that at? Like in real life? Um, So they always have Miriam, the meter maid, to surprise the mess up. Because remember last time with the French dude, she did her research. She called up whoever that she knew, and she got him kicked out. So this Miriam is just like all full of surprise. But you know who they were missing? The woman that does the video cam work. I was wondering what happened to her during this episode. I haven't seen any cutaways from her. I didn't see any dance movements from her. She really doesn't have any explanation for where she has been. And back to the contest, like Nick was saying that, with Justin. Okay, I already talked about that. While I was watching this, I was thinking, Nick, he got to find some shrimp for the prize. But then because Miriam was going all in. The meter maid, she was doing all her moves. She was doing all of this and all of that. She was doing it. She was doing the thing. She gave me her own song, 100% Pure Love by Crystal Waters. So there's a twist. So we know it's not the shrimp, but Gabby still wants to win. So she gives away the card that she won. And it was really hard for me because she really, really enjoyed that car. Remember, she had that horrible car that she couldn't even close the trunk on. So this was just like something that she had to do to win because Brittany just made a mistake, and now Brittany just was listening to her mama and just decided to make a big mistake. And she came into her apologizing, but Gabby wouldn't have none of that. She wanted to move on. Um, that the dance scene between Gabby's crew and Brittany's crew, crazy amazing. When the water came down, I was like, "What is this? Step It Up too?" Because I remember seeing that from Step It Up too, and that was wrong. So Julia is in the hospital with her daughter, and then she's with Paula. Um, so she promises that somebody's going to be there for her, but she and her daughter leave. So Mike comes in with flowers and the so Mike comes in with the flowers and the balloons. Oh, I already talked about this a little bit. I might be rambling a little bit, but I really, really like this show. So Alan, oh, so we find out later on that Justin's father had an accident. And so Justin decides that he's going to leave the show and potentially Simon so he can go take care of his family. And he tells Monica about it. And she was saying that she really didn't mean what she actually said earlier about him being her favorite. And um, he said one of the lines that stood out to me was says that everything that comes out of her mouth is like toads and warts. And so, and then at the end, it cuts off, and she is crying a little bit, so it really messed up. But that woman, I gotta find her name. She is such a great actor. She gives a lot of dynamics to the Monica player because, like, these characters have layers, like layers and layers and layers of goodness. Like, what's going on? I love how Gabby is coming for hers, but it kind of backfired on her because, well, we'll see. We'll see. I think they maybe are they bringing back Brittany back? And maybe bringing Brittany back because Justin left, so they have to have somebody. Like, yeah, Brittany is coming back because Justin left, and then it's so cute. There's this other plot line where Reggie's trying to get back on the football field, so he teams up with his tight end coach, sees him play, saying that he's doing better, and then he's saying that the ballet is really helping him out. And so he has to get permission from that's this doctor to sign off of. And this doctor is like, maybe you really shouldn't be doing this because you had a car accident. It's not really healing. So I'm thinking that's very foreboding. That's a little foreshadowing about what's going to happen. But somehow he does end up being on the team. And he does see Gabby. She gives her a necklace. She explains that she's sad, and he calls her girlfriend. He calls her his girlfriend, and that's what she really likes. Like, I love their love, and I love Paula and Mike's love. Um, Wayne, brilliant host. Um, oh, and during the dancing, Monica has a vision of how Swan Lake is going to be. Like, they slow it down to this hip hop track. It's really beautiful the way they show but the dancing in this show is just amazing. Um, oh yeah, so Reggie playing for the football team. I was wondering how that would affect him being on the show because he can't really just leave the show because they signed him because he was the big draw for the show. I was like, isn't he under contract? So we find out a little bit in the preview that the cameras are going to be following him where he goes after that. And then they have the preview of him kissing this woman and like Gabby finding out. So I'm really curious to find out what that whole thing is really about. So yeah, Thank you all for checking out my review, my notes, my thoughts about the big leap. My battery is about to run out. So thank you all so much. Hopefully, I will see you all next Monday at about the same time so we can talk about a big leap and what's happening with that.